The long shadow of World War III, the first war of the atomic age, creeps steadily forward, heralded by 1,000 events, reported daily in press and in radio. This killing shade touches each one of us in some way. And over the whole body of society, this threat of war hampers progress and slows down the processes of peace, preventing the fulfillment of life that man's growing conquest of nature promises.
Civilization stands in mortal danger. We have learned some things more rapidly than others. The cool and methodical searching by scientists has given us an ever-growing control of the physical world. Has provided each one of us with 1,000 mechanical slaves. Yet, through all the years of opportunity, we have not learned how to get along with our neighbors. Man with man, or nation with nation. After nearly 2,000 years of the Christian era, we seek justice through slaughter and expect good to emerge from the reeking evil of war.
This is your problem and mine. All over the world, men give lip service to peace. It is so easy to say the right thing, but only a pitiful minority is willing to pay the price of peace in the only coin which will buy it: study, understanding, thought, and action. Peace is everyone's business. It doesn't just happen. Either you want peace and are willing to work for it, or you must be prepared to accept the consequences of your inaction. The war victims of every nation accuse us from their graves. We cannot shift the blame for war or its innocent dead.
Just how badly do you want peace anyway? Stop and ask yourself, how much do I want peace? Real peace from now on.
Come now, let's be realistic. Of course we want peace. We've always had wars, and we always will. War is a part of human nature. War or no war, we Americans aren't doing so bad. Look at the progress we've made. You don't really want peace. Probably you don't want war either. But most people who convince themselves that war is inevitable have visions of standing on the sidelines where the risk is slight.
This man calls himself a realist, but he ignores the fact that there will be no sidelines in the next war. He hides from the consequences of the two most important discoveries of our time: high-speed transportation by airplane and rocket, and the discovery of atomic fission. The first of these has reduced the world to the size of a county. The second has provided the means to destroy that county. In past wars, most Americans have lived comfortably behind the gun. In the war of tomorrow, we shall be in front of the gun. All of us. Yes, tomorrow's war will be very different.
Really? Who says so?
The men who made the gadgets will kill us. They say so.
The man who lives in the White House, he says so.
The heads of these universities, they say so.
The men who saw the bomb at Alamogordo, they say so.
The people of Hiroshima, who felt the force of the blast, they say so.
The top men of our armed forces, they say so.
Who, knowing the facts, doesn't say so?
No one.
Albert Einstein, respected by all the democratic world, tells us what to expect in the war of tomorrow, the war that will be so different. And remember that this scientist speaks with the authority of one whose thoughts crystallized into a little three-letter equation, set men on the long search for atomic energy.
Einstein says many millions of Americans might die of a surprise attack with atomic bombs. But if millions of casualties surpass your powers of imagination, think rather this could mean about 1 out of 3 of you. And remember, this estimate takes no account of the aftermath, which by starvation and disease might take another 1 out of 3 of you.
The progress of science is like a snowball rolling downhill. The bigger it gets, the faster it goes. In peacetime, the benefits of this progress are too often wasted by competitive armies. In war, scientific progress leads to weapons so terrible that neither man nor things made by man can survive.
There are the jet planes. They will carry men faster than any living thing has ever moved before in the service of destruction.
There are combination jet and rocket bombers. On the drawing board today, or was it yesterday, is a plane with more than 400,000 horsepower. Enough power to run a small city, packed into a single vehicle to carry death.
There are the two rockets. Even man's aspiration to conquer the void between planets has been prostituted for the uses of war. Self-guiding atomic rockets with speeds of several thousands of miles per hour and ranges sufficient to span an ocean are now within sight.
There are the bacteria. In the white laboratories, men trained to fight against germs are now training to fight with them. As day succeeds day, the germ cultures are coaxed into an increasing deadliness in preparation for that grim hour when they may be wafted down on broken cities to complete the work of destruction and to creep amongst the wounded in the bodies of rabid rats.
There are biological poisons. Chemists in the service of military science have recently produced a biological poison in pure crystalline form. This substance is so deadly that a single cubic inch of it, dispensed in measured doses, would kill every human being on the North American continent. Can you imagine the effects of its use?
And over and above all these, there is the bomb. Yes, the bomb, that familiar symbol of a new age, about which we have talked so much that we now take it for granted. But the bomb, too, is changing. Men talk already of atomic bombs with 1,000 times the destructive power of those dropped on Japan. Yes, it is getting bigger. getting cheaper. According to one authority, the cost of atomic weapons in terms of their destructive power may be as little as 1% of the cost of any previous weapon. And there will be more of them. Yes, there will be plenty of bombs. The more we make, the faster we shall be able to make them. The genius of man for mass production can be relied upon to provide annihilation in wholesale lots.
These things are secrets, American secrets. Instead of sitting here talking, we ought to be on our toes to see that someone doesn't blab them. These are not our secrets. They are nature's secrets, and nature is not partial to America, nor to Russia, nor to blonde Nordics, nor to any other segment of humanity. She gives true answers to all who ask sensible questions, according to the methods of science.
The science on which the bomb is based has been developing for many years in many lands. The materials needed to make bombs are plentiful and widely dispersed. In a comparatively short time, similar or more powerful bombs will be made in other countries. There is no hope of an American monopoly.
Well, at least we have a head start. We can defend ourselves.
Against atomic bombs, there is no defense. Einstein says that Americans, being an ingenious people, find it hard to believe that there is no foreseeable defense against atomic bombs. But this is a basic fact. Scientists do not even know of any field of study which holds any hope of adequate defense. There will be defensive tactics and devices which will increase the cost of an attack. But let us count also the cost of such a defense. We could disperse our cities at a cost of $300 billion and practically all personal liberty. In order to stop saboteurs armed with atomic explosives, we could search all planes and trains and boats and automobiles crossing our borders from now on. We could open every single package with a screwdriver if necessary under military supervision of commerce. We could remain on a constant 24-hour, day in, day out alert under some type of dictatorship. We could devote all of our scientific efforts to the constant improvement of weapons at the sacrifice of most constructive scientific progress. We could restrict ourselves to a standard of living under which everything but the barest essentials of existence would be sacrificed to a futile defense against the inevitable. Such a defense means a totalitarian America. A regimented population, a militarized industry.
This is the way it always begins. This this is the way it always ends. Man has fanned the flames of war to such a furious heat that neither aggressor nor defender can survive. There can be no victors, only the survivors and their dead. The weapons of the next war will not distinguish between good and evil, nor examine the motives of their victims. They may be made for defense, but they are destined to kill. To kill or to maim or to poison with radiation, according to the whim of fate. Most of the men, women, and children living on the earth today.
There isn't any place you can hide to be safe in a war like that.
True, but many people are trying to hide from their duty to prevent that war.
That's foolish. Do they think that hiding today will prevent the war tomorrow from which there is no hiding?
Let's ask them. Maybe some are in our audience now. Mr. Smith, where do you hide? Do you try to hide behind the excuse that our own country has already done everything it can do?
And do you feel safe hiding there?
And you over there, do you hide by saying that you are just an ordinary person and can do nothing alone?
Is that a safe hiding place?
And you, where do you hide? Behind an army, navy, and air force so strong that no other nation will dare to start a war?
Is it safe there, hiding behind the atom bomb?
Or perhaps you hide behind the United Nations Charter.
Does that give safety enough to prevent atomic war?
Do you oppose true world government because that would make your own government less powerful?
Are you safe now in its independence and power?
Do you bury yourself in other duties which you feel are more important than preventing war?
Can we all find safety hiding there?
And you? And you? And you? What are your favorite alibis for doing nothing in this hour of crisis? Where do you try to hide?
Are you safe hiding there? And are they safe where you hide?